Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival.
There's the latest from Carmine-Appice and Fernando Perdomo called Running Up That Hill. And with us today, we're honored to welcome legendary drummer Carmine-Appice. Welcome to the Revival, Carmine.
Hey, Revival, I like that.
Yeah.
Because this music for me is like a revival, because I've done some instrumental albums before, but never with such heavy-duty melodies,
Exactly.
And Fernando, for me, Fernando is like the closest thing that I played with since Jeff Beck. That sounds a bit like Jeff in some places,
Wow, that is quite the compliment. We'll be honest, we talked off air a little bit. We're usually not into an instrumental release because usually we, like you said, we get that and it's just there's no feeling to it. But we were blown away when we heard this release. Tell us about how this collaboration between you and Fernando started.
Well, it's really funny. We did a first album, and it wasn't really planned as an album. You know who Tom Dowd is, the famous producer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his daughter called me and said, hey, look, there's a guy that wants you to work with him, and he's a younger guy than you, and he's really talented. My father was going to work with him. I said, oh, really? So who is he? And she told me about him. And I had just moved, and I set up a studio in my house. And I thought, well, this might be a good opportunity to learn how to work my studio, because my brother Vinny, he's a computer geek besides being a great drummer. So he built the same studio as far as the computer and the software and everything that he had. And then he sent it to me. I set it up, and we went through it, and I kind of learned how to do it. But I really didn't know until I started using it. So I said, yeah, okay. So I talked to Fernando. I said, I'll tell you what, let's do this. I got some songs on my iPad. I'll send them to you. You can put them down. Because he plays guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, he plays everything. So he put down everything but the drums, and he sent it to me, and I said, wow, this is really cool, So I put the drums on it, sent it back to him, and then he replayed the stuff to my drums, and
nice.
Came up with one track. And we kept doing this back and forth, and then he said, well, let me give you a song. So he gave me one of his songs, and I played to that, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to have some fun with this. I sent him back at the end of his song a double-time version of his song, and I said, see what you can do with this. And then he wrote music to my drums. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Nice.
So then we kept doing this back and forth. Then we had 12 songs. I said, let me see if I can get it released. I called up Cleopatra Records, who I was working with, and they said they would release it. But pretty much that's all they did, was release it. They did a press release. We got a bunch of great reviews on the first album. 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. Like the reaction like you guys had. They didn't expect to like this album, but everybody really liked it. So we got critical acclaim on it. So then we started messing around and said, let's do another record, So we started messing around. We did the whole record. And then I said, you know what? I'm really a fan of Stranger Things. I keep hearing this Kate Bush song on there. I said, I think it would be a cool idea to redo that song, kind of like the way we play, make it heavy rock with a heavy groove, take all the melodies and leave a little area to improvising. So he said, yeah, let's do it. So he listened to the song. He sent me his version. I put the drums on it, and he replayed it to my drums, and we rearranged stuff into this and that. Then we mixed it, and I said, wow, this came out fantastic. So then we figured, well, let's do the song. Let's do a video for that song, because it would kind of be like what Vanilla Fudge did with You Keep Me Hanging On,
Okay. Yeah.
Where we took a song that was popular, and a few months later we redid it to the point where everybody said, wow, what a difference. And, when I was getting my hair cut one day, and my hairdresser said, I told her about it. I said, let's see if you know the song. And I played it for her, and she started singing the song. I said, okay, so everybody gets it, this is like a regular person. So she gets it that was the song. She can hear that song. So I thought we had a good shot at maybe doing something with it. And what I'm trying to do too is I'm trying to get a Grammy nomination to the album, the single, or the other, next single is one of them, because it's a very small area, you know.
Yeah.
And like you said, most of these albums are, you know. So I thought we might have a good chance for that. So we're promoting it. We hired Chipster to do all the promotion, and now I'm looking at another company that promotes videos. So I just really want to get it out there, you know, because I think if people hear it, they would like it.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Definitely. Now, Fernando's got some killer guitar tones, man. Every song has something a little different in it. Do you know if he used mics and mics, or if he used computer software
No, he used
modeling?
amps. He used amps, mostly amps.
Okay.
You know, mostly amps, and he's got you know, a few pedals that work as well. We just played live. He had the same kind of sounds going, and that's what I liked about him. That's what I mean about like Jeff Beck comparison, because Jeff used to do that too. He'd always sound different on each song.
Yeah.
You know, and he does too. One time on the first album, there's a song called Wildflower. You can see it on a video on YouTube. That I was talking to Susie Quattro about doing some work with her, and she said, send me something that lately you did. So I sent her that song, and she said, is that who I think it is on guitar? I said, who do you think it is? Because I think it's Jeff Beck. I said, no, it's not Jeff Beck. It's my partner, Fernando. She goes, oh, my God, he's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, and he's really great on some things, like the next single. Did you guys get Drum City, too?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we got an unbelievable video coming out with that. You know, I did some artwork with a friend of mine named Ed Heck, right?
Okay.
And he said, do you do any art? I said, no, this is when a lot of musicians, like Paul Stanley and different people are doing art. I said, no, I don't really know how to do art. He said, can you draw anything? I said, yeah, I could draw drums, you know. So he said, well, why don't we do something with drums? So I did something with drums. First one was called Drumhead. There's a picture of Floor Tom Tom with my image with the sunglasses with the mustache, you know. And then I drew this thing called, I made a city out of drums, you know, buildings made of drums with the like Seattle with that needle they have made of a hi-hat,
like the
made of a hi-hat, you know.
Nice.
And then I did another one. Then I did another one with the bridge going across the like the Hudson River was made of a hi-hat. You know, you see Manhattan on one side. You know,
Nice.
So basically, we did a green screen, me and Fernando played bass and guitar, and I played drums, obviously. And then my editor put us in the city.
Oh,
right? And I
nice.
had little cars. I had cars drawn, and he animated the cars. You know,
Okay.
the cars were going across the bridge. You know, driving in front of it. And we're, you know, at one point at the beginning, me and Fernando on one of the buildings. You know, it's really a wild video, and the colors are beautiful. You know, the colors are really, really beautiful. And so we just finished that video. That's going to come out in a couple of weeks.
Sweet.
You know, so
That's awesome.
yeah. So anyway, so I'm really, really happy with that. So that's going to be the next single. You know.
Okay.
And, yeah. So and we're hoping that we send it to everybody who does an interview with me, that they get to put these videos on their website. You know,
We certainly will.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so,
Definitely.
yeah, you're going to love this video. Both videos are pretty cool.
Excellent.
You know, the first video, we made it look like Stranger Days, you know, because that's where that thing came from. It's got all, you know, the horror stuff and witches, and it's all red. You know, Stranger Days is all like reddish all the time.
Nice.
You know, yeah. So that's that. And then this new Drum City one, and we're working on another one for the ballad. You know, so we're going to keep pumping out these videos, man. I want to get this record recognized. You know.
Sweet.
You know, Carmine, I had to ask, I really would love to hear this release on vinyl. That deep sound that
Me
vinyl
too.
gets. Are there any plans for that?
Well, you know, because they didn't do much of the sales on the first record, you know, they didn't want to do a vinyl on this record straight away because it costs a lot of money to do vinyl. So they said, well, let's see how it does. If it does good, you know, then we'll plan to do the vinyl. Like in a few months, we'll re-release the vinyl. I said, okay, fine. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, it's just crazy the way, people don't believe in instrumental records, I mean, Jeff Beck got all his Grammys on instrumental records.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did. So, I mean, if we get a nomination, maybe they'll say, you know what, we should release a vinyl on this, and it'll be like a new release.
Cool.
But I would love to hear it on vinyl too, because it's really well mixed by my buddy Pat Regan. Pat Regan does Richie Blackmore. He does all my guitars, his stuff I did. He did King Cobra. He's done so many people. Mr. Big. He's done everybody, and
nice.
He's awesome. He's an awesome mixer. I mean, this album compared to the first album just has so much depth and bottom. Just great sounds. My drum sounds are killer.
Definitely. Now, after I did go back and check out the first album you did with Fernando.
Oh, great.
And I like your version of "Do You Think I'm Sexy" was pretty cool. And dude,
pretty wild, right?
Yeah, I had no idea you co-wrote that.
Oh man, where you been?
I didn't know that. I figured you're the drummer. You didn't write that. And then
I co-wrote that.
That's
and
cool.
Young Turks too.
How'd that happen? I mean, how'd you end up?
Well, Rod was a good guy. And I loved playing with Rod. It was 7 years of a lot of fun. And, he used to say, whatever was number one in the country, he said, I'd like a song like that. So with Sexy, he said, Missing You from the Stones was the song. So I want a song like that. So I went home and I had a drum machine, had a keyboard. I majored in music in high school, so I play a bit of keyboard, bit of bass, bit of guitar. Just enough to write songs. And I've written songs all my life, like the stuff with Fernando. I wrote a bunch of songs, like on the new album, I wrote a bunch of songs that, we just did. But, so I wrote these keys, I wrote these chord changes and stuff. So I went to my buddy Dwayne Hitchings' house, who had a full-on 8-track studio. I said, well, look, man, you play keyboard and on this and all that. And then he came up with the bridge. But when we presented it to Rod, it sounded really professional, So the other guys just had on a cassette with them and a guitar, had a full-blown production, So he loved it, and he said, all right, let's do it. When we did it, we didn't know how big it was going to be,
Yeah.
I mean, Warner Brothers said, maybe you'll make $25,000 on it,
Wow.
But it went to number one on in every country of the world that had, English-speaking country.
Mm-hmm.
And, Germany, France, all over, everywhere, Australia, Hong Kong. I mean, every market was number one. It sold so many units. I mean, look at the video now. It's probably 300 million videos on YouTube, which isn't that much compared to Taylor Swift that has 38 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not believe that number when you see it written out. I said, are you kidding me? 38 billion?
Yeah.
But, it was the biggest single Rod ever had.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
That's so
cool.
Yeah,
it was written by a drummer and my buddy Dwayne Hitchings.
That's so cool.
And Rod, And then because of that, we wrote Young Turks.
Nice.
The same combination of people.
That's a great song, too. Man.
Yeah, it's a great tune. So I have a project that I'm doing. It's called the Rod Experience. We're going to have a guy that looks like Rod. And, we go out and we play all the 1979 Rod show, which was a high-energy rock show. Now, he does more of a Vegas kind of thing. He's got 3 beautiful chicks playing violins and harps.
Yeah,
there you go.
Not harmonica, a harp. And there's no amps on the stage. But back when I played with him, we had amps. We were a kick-ass rock show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're starting to do that this year. We got the first shows in October, and Rod was amazing. He was the best frontman and the greatest singer back in those days of any of the frontmen.
He was awesome. Hey,
he was, and he's still a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Carmine, I've always been amazed at how driven you are with your music. What drives you to keep constantly creating new music?
It's my hobby.
Okay.
People look at sports and they freak out at sport. They watch every game, football, basketball. I don't do that. I do music, you know. It's all about music for me. I wrote the drum book. I did the clinics. I educated, you know. It's all about music. And people say, what do you have for hobby? I said, I'm doing it.
Nice.
You know? I mean, I'm doing it. You know, I listen to music. I love to create it. Like, we got a King Cobra record coming out in a few months.
Oh,
I said, why? And the original guitar player said, we don't want to do it because nobody will hear it. And nobody will buy it. I said, but dude, don't you want to keep the legend going?
yeah.
You know, it will make no money. I mean, I probably made, with this album with Fernando, I made no money
Yeah.
because I'm putting it all back into the promotion. So
Yeah.
neither one of us made any money. We just did a free show in New York. We were doing a free show in L.A. that I can't do, but Fernando's going to do it without me. We still play the songs with some main people, you know,
Nice.
at the Whiskey. But, you know, for me, it's not about the money. All the money's been made already for me, you know, in my career, you know. I mean, where I am now is where I am. But, you know, luckily I can afford to do that. So I'm doing it.
I know.
And now that I got my studio, it's easy. You know?
Exactly. I know one guy will buy that King Cobra album. That's me.
Oh, yeah.
I love King Cobra.
You know, we got new guitar players. We got Carlos Cavazzo from Quiet Riot is in it.
Nice.
Sweet.
And we got Roland Robertson who played with Dio last. He's in it.
You got both of them?
Nice.
Yeah, I got both of them. Me and Johnny Rod and Paul Shortino.
Wow.
Kind of like,
wait.
I'm thinking of calling, if we go out and tour, and calling it the King Cobra All-Stars.
There you go.
You know, because we can do like Quiet Riot. We can do, you know, Carlos was in Rat. We could do some Rat. We could do some King Cobra. The new King Cobra, the old King Cobra. We could do Bark at the Moon. We could do Hot Legs. We could do Wasp. You know.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It's like all these bands are in King Cobra now. You know.
Nice. Now, going back to the album right here, do you think the song "Home" could have used some cowbell?
Can be used for what?
Some cowbell.
Definitely not.
The nice mellow song.
Yeah,
No?
definitely not.
No?
No, not cowbell. I mean, that one to me is where Fernando really sounds like Jeff Beck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, he does.
And we just did a video with that too. Now, that's just more of a laid back video, you know, with pictures of home, the houses, and like farmhouses, and you know, just really kind of places where people will call home. And then with me and Fernando, the ghosts of us playing through it, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's just a real laid back one.
Sweet.
But see, this is the thing. Having my own studio, not only can I make music, but I can make videos
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
where I didn't, you know, I put my green screen up and I can be anywhere in the world and doing anything, you know. So we're going to keep pounding the videos with this record as well, because, you know, the more videos we put out, the more people get to see it, you know.
True.
I never did that before, you know.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Hey,
Yeah, but you know, having the studio is also great, because before I used to have to call my roadie or a roadie, get my drum set up, get the drum sound. By the time I get to do a track, I'm in there 4 hours already,
Oh yeah.
you know. And then if I have to replace something, you know, I have to reset everything up, and the sound's never the same. I have in my own studio, I have the same drum set sitting in the studio. I never move them. I got the same mic set up. I got the air conditioner, the humidity set the same. So if I need to do something, I just walk in there, turn on the computers, and play.
Nice.
that's
And
awesome.
then if I don't like something, I can fix it the next week. Punch in, I can have the same exact sound because nothing's moved.
Nice.
It's so creatively great.
Yeah,
That's outstanding.
definitely.
Hey, Carmine, where's the best place for our listeners to actually purchase this album? Because we always want people to purchase the product and keep in touch and figure out what you're doing.
Well, the album is is coming out actually on the 26th, which is Friday. And on there, when it comes out, it'll be on all the usual platforms, Amazon, iTunes, and you know, it'll be all over everything. If they want to go to Carmine-Merch.com, you know, I will get some of the CDs and I'll autograph them and we'll send them out, you know. And but pretty much everywhere that you buy normal music, it'll be all over everything. Spotify. Unfortunately, it'll be on Spotify. You know.
Okay.
I do say unfortunately because they rip musicians off. As far as
yeah, they do.
You know, I'm not crazy about it, but that's the way they do it today until something changes. You know, all that stuff. Yeah, all that Apple Music, all that. I mean, it'll be on all those things, but you know, I mean, it's no fun. I mean, you probably remember. That's why the LPs are good.
Yeah.
You know, you can get the information. You see the band. You get who's on what.
Yeah.
You know. Even the CD, you know, like we have guests on these things.
Yeah.
Like on home we have Tony Franklin on bass.
Nice.
You know, on different songs we have different people.
Yeah.
You know, what is it called? Hypochondriac. I think that's one. I forgot the name of it, but Phil Soussan from Ozzy's on bass on that. You got a song called "The Rise" with Bumblefoot on it.
Nice.
We got a song called Biker Gang. It's got Billy Sheehan and Derek Serenian on it.
Woo.
You know?
Sweet.
So it has a great lineup. And on the CD, you see the lineup. You know, when you're on Spotify, you don't see any lineup.
No, not at all.
You don't see anything. You know, you don't know who's doing what. You know.
Not at all. Well,
Well,
we appreciate your time today, Carmine. We hope the album gets you that Grammy that you're looking for because it's well deserved. And we're looking forward to a King Cobra album, and you're welcome back on this show anytime.
That sounds great. Well, after you see these two videos, maybe we'll contact Chip and we can talk about this Drum City one.
All right.
You'll see what I was talking about, you know. If you go online and look up Carmine-Appice artwork Drum City, you'll actually see the pictures I'm talking about. The colors are beautiful, amazing.